unlike Christians, where if they don't practice Christianity, they're not Christians, or Catholics who are lapsed don't really care about their Catholicism, the most secular Jews care about their Jewishness. It's the most amazing thing. It's bizarre. It has no precedent. But I've seen it all over the world. And it's going to matter to you. So, this is my approach to intermarriage, and you need to know, when I was a rabbi at Oxford, 70% of my community was married out. If a couple is already married, I believe in the sanctity of marriage, and I would never do anything but try to keep them in love and together. But I do make a concerted effort to expose the non-Jewish spouse in the most loving way to the beauties of the Jewish religion, to see if they may have an interest in it, a genuine, sincere interest, not an interest for the sake of marriage. When it comes, however, and the same might be true of a relationship that's so serious that you're already engaged. But if you're dating someone and you just feel, I'm very much in love and I'd like to marry this person if they're not Jewish, that's the time to really, really consider whether this is the best thing if your potential spouse has no sincere interest in Judaism. Because remember, converting for the sake of marriage, that's not fair to them. That's almost a form of contempt. It's saying, I won't marry you until you become, in the most insincere manner, something that I demand. That's not love. Love is loving someone for who they are. I feel bad for non-Jews who are pressed by their Jewish partners to convert in some shoddy, stupid ceremony that no one believes in, just for the sake of a name or to appease parents. That's the quickest way of demonstrating to them that you have contempt for your own faith. When my wife wanted to become an American, because being an Australian, they only have 3 kinds of beer. Foster's, Triple X. And also, 90% of all Australians are illiterate and don't even have shoes, honestly. Yeah, most Australians are illiterate. I taught them how to read when we got married. When Debbie wanted to become an American citizen, she had to study the history of the United States. She had to be married to an American citizen for 7 years. She had to live in the U.S. for 3 years. She had to be tested on the modern-day political system, who her congressmen and senators were. That's just a national identity, let alone a spiritual and religious identity. And a lot of these conversions don't really demand anything. They're just not real. So I think you need to think long and hard about a relationship when you're in a relationship with a non-Jew who, through no fault of their own, has no interest in Judaism. And that's largely because, let's face it, you don't have any real interest. Meaning, through no fault of your own, you weren't really raised with it. So now you're imposing something on them that they think you're not even interested in and doing it out of guilt. So you should all think about that. Which leads me to the emotion of guilt. Who said to me yesterday when we came out of Yad Vashem that they felt guilty?
I did, but I changed my mind.
Change your mind? Well, after drinking last night, no more guilt, huh?
No, it wasn't actually guilt. It was more that I was angry because our parents' generation and my grandparents' generation had not given us more, they hadn't talked about it more. I understand why, but my parents' generation, I wish that they could have, done a better job. And also, everybody says it differently. Like, there's not, I don't know what's real and what's not until I actually came here and was in the museum and saw and learned up.
Got it. No, but you're right. There's this feeling of guilt that we don't know enough, haven't done enough, haven't been exposed enough. Let me, if there's one thing to take away from this trip, I want you guys to take away that I am super sexy. That's the one thing you should take away. But the second thing you ought to take away from this trip is that guilt is the most debilitating of all emotions. You know why you feel guilt? Let me explain what guilt is. A guy knocks on your door. He says, hey, my family's hungry. I lost my job. Can you give me $10? You don't want to give him $10. You want to keep your money. It's not easy to part from hard-earned money. So you say to him, no, I'm sorry. Please come back later. You close the door. As soon as you close the door, what do you feel?
Guilty.
You feel guilty. Now, what just happened? Why do you feel guilty? Because guilt allows you to have your cake and eat it too. You don't want to give him the money, but you want to be a good person. But by slamming the door in his face, you're a bad person. Unless You create an emotion that regrets not having given him the money. Now you get to keep your money, and I'm a good person because I feel bad that I didn't give it to him. That's what guilt is. Guilt is the ability to reconcile complete opposites. It's where you get to do absolutely nothing and still be a good person because you feel guilty. That's why guilt sucks. Look. In life, you either act or you don't act. But not to act and feel guilty about it only guarantees that you will continue not to act. So if we need to learn more about the Holocaust, you need to learn more about the Holocaust. You need to do more for Israel, do more for Israel. I told you guys, and tomorrow is our last night together. Then we fly on the plane home, God willing. Tony won't be allowed on the plane. That kind of blood alcohol level, forget it, man. Tony, it's going to take you a month to get that stuff out of your system. And that's only by us pumping your body. I told you that if you want any of the emotions that you felt on this trip to last, and I was on a trip 2 years ago, and if you think, we still have some of those students who come to us for Shabbos dinner. So there's like, out of a group of 50, I'd say, for 10, allow there to be a lasting impact. It only comes when you do something about it. The women should light Shabbos candles every Friday night. It takes a minute, and it's a beautiful tradition to bring light into the world. Both men and women, as I said, get a bottle of wine and toast Shabbos every Friday night. And remember that Friday night is the Sabbath. It's the day that all of us sat together saying l'chaims to very precious things. And a lot of pain came out in some of those l'chaims, and that's okay. I don't think we Americans know how to deal with pain. We just know how to escape it. We hate pain. But our pain, in some ways, defines us. Because it's the things that you hurt for that mean something to you. If you don't go deep into the hurt you feel for a broken relationship with your parents, you will never really have parents. If you don't go into the feeling of pain, that sometimes you're not maximizing your human potential and you know you could be doing a lot more, then that potential will remain forever unmaximized. So you gotta toast a l'chaim on Shabbos and say something precious. To the guys who are given tefillin on your bar mitzvahs, put it on every Friday. For those that weren't, you could seek out a million places and you could call your local Chabad place. They will come to your place of work, not charge you 50 cents, and put tefillin on with you. When I was a student in yeshiva, I did this for 8 or 9 years. Going to people's offices, putting on tefillin with them. Never took $1 from them. I sometimes, when they weren't looking, took their wallet, but I never took $1 from them. Just $100 or $200. So with that, I conclude with the following story. Do not ever feel that there's a contradiction in what you're not practicing versus what you are. Focus on the little good things that you do. So here's the story. About 25 years ago, I was standing on Ben Yehuda Street, the main social thoroughfare in Jerusalem. Every Friday I would go and I would put on tefillin with soldiers and I would give the women Shabbos candles. This soldier is walking up toward me and he has a pita bread in his right hand. So I walk over to him and I say to him, "Slicha chayal, einach tefillin al yom." Excuse me, soldier, have you put on tefillin today? He looks at me, he starts to laugh, and he says, "Vayad hayamin ani kan ochez basar levan, v'ata shoel mimeni laniach tefillin." In my right hand, I am holding pork. There is pork in this pita bread. And you're asking me to put on tefillin. So I looked at him and I said to him, "Well, that's great, because we put on tefillin with our left hand." And I quickly pulled up his sleeve, slapped the tefillin on his arm, put it on his head, and as he was munching his pork, I said the blessing with him. "Blessed be you, O Lord our God, who's commanded us putting on tefillin." And, when we finished, he thanked me, and he said, "Wasn't there a contradiction?" I said, "Absolutely no contradiction. The good things we do, the holy things we do are holy. Anything else, there's no contradiction. You have an opportunity to do a good thing in your life, especially a mitzvah that connects you to the Jewish people, just do it. Never focus on what you're not doing. One tiny little mitzvah makes all the difference." And with that, I will also fulfill a pledge. Who asked me about Barbara Streisand and Yentl? Brooke, right? I have to fulfill a pledge to you.